Have you ever wanted to get in early on a cryptocurrency project? Are you tired of seeing other people make gains and wishing that you would have known about the project so you could have got in early and made massive gains as well? Today I'm going to talk about 5 projects that I'm getting in on that are still very early. In fact, 1 or 2 has not even launched yet. They're going to be launching here in the next couple of days. Now, it's important for you to understand nothing in this video is financial advice. None of this video is sponsored content. Not one of these projects has reached out to me to be able to sponsor them. And these are all actual plays that I am looking to make with my own money. This should not be considered financial advice for you. Do your own research. Consider this entertainment. Consider it education. Consider it satire. Consider anything but financial advice. My name is Crypto Wealth. I believe in the future of cryptocurrency and I believe in this technology. And today I'm going to show you 5 different projects that I'm evaluating getting in on, and some of them I've made small dabbles in. I've gotten in with a little bit, and I'm going to share each project with you today. So first up, let's go ahead and get started. If you'd like to earn passive income with cryptocurrency and you want to learn how you can earn more passive income, then go down to the description, subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. It's totally free. And while you're doing that, do me a favor and smash that like button. All right, first things first, we're going to talk about the first project that has not even launched yet. This project is called 100 Days Ventures. Now, this project is very interesting. The main reason I'm getting into this project is because I'm playing the early game. I want to get in at launch. I've already jumped in today. I brought in just under $500 worth. That's actually what I'm doing with my money. Again, this is not financial advice, nor do I recommend that you do this. I have a very high risk tolerance personally, and I understand risk can sometimes mean big reward. When a project launches, it can be one of the most riskiest times to be able to get started with any project, particularly a project like this, which is really just a high APY Titano fork. It's on the AVAX network. My goal with this project is hopefully just to get in, make a quick double up, and then maybe pull out half my funds. Hopefully that's the goal. I will tell you my exact strategy for this project. I'm looking to bring in probably about $1,800 to $1,000 worth. I jumped in with about $440 something dollars. If this project launches and it takes off, at that point, I will just let my $400 or $500 double up, and I'll withdraw half of it, and I'll let the rest just ride. Now, if this project skyrockets and crashes back down very, very quickly, because this oftentimes can happen with a new project, and it drops lower than the initial price, if it drops lower than 0.008, what I may do is give it a day or two and then come back in with another investment that's pretty much equal to the size of the first investment. And that way the idea is trying to dollar cost average in. A lot of times with these launch projects, they can sometimes moon really hard and drop really quick, faster than you have time to sell in some cases. And then if they have any legs, which we won't know that, if they have any legs, then the project will slowly build. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a return on our investment at that point. And by the way, I may keep you updated on this project, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for that update and actually find out what happens. Like I said, consider this entertainment if this isn't your style of investing. Now, I will tell you what I don't like about this project is everybody's promoting this project because the devs are supposed to be doxxed and this sort of thing. Let me just show you something real quick. Where's it at? Right here. I don't really care what their long-term use cases are. I mean, they've announced some use cases. They're going to be doing something similar to Sphere Finance if you're familiar with them. It really is irrelevant. In the early days, you're playing the launch and you're playing the tokenomics. If this project, if I'm able to get out part of my investment and this thing looks like it has legs and it's going to keep going, at that point, I'll start paying attention to what the ecosystem is doing, what the team's talking about, what's going on with development, and I'll be looking a little bit more at the longer term use cases at that point. But early on, you're really and truly just playing the tokenomics. But let me show you something. Meet the 100 Days team. I keep seeing people shield this project on YouTube, and I'm pretty certain they're paid, that it's sponsored content, because everybody's making a big deal about the team being doxxed. I went through here and I read some really great propaganda, if you will, about the team being doxxed. But if you come down, I did a reverse image search on each one of these people, and admittedly, they kind of look like stock photos. I couldn't prove that they are stock photos, but I found almost no evidence of any of these pictures when I did a reverse image search, their pictures being anywhere else on the internet. No social media, nothing, except for one who had a LinkedIn profile that was slightly unrelated. But none of the others seem to have any, their pictures were nowhere else on the internet. Now, it's good that they weren't stock photos. Sometimes you see that. You'll do a reverse image search on the devs that are supposed to be doxed, and you'll find out that, oh, that's just a stock photo from some stock photo website. I didn't find these photos listed, or they didn't show up on the reverse image search anywhere. I don't really know what to think about that. I don't really care about teams being doxxed. I literally don't care. What am I going to do if they run it off with my $400? Am I going to file an FBI report? No. I personally literally do not care if the team is fully doxxed or not. Con men have been conning people undoxxed for most of the world's history. So this one guy here, I did find a LinkedIn profile for him, but it was another blockchain company. I'm not saying that guy's doesn't work for the company and for 100 Days Ventures. His LinkedIn profile didn't list 100 Days Ventures. So I'm not really sure if it's legit or not. Just letting you know what I found, and I'm not really concerned about whether they're fully doxxed or not. Again, I'm playing the tokenomics. There's always a risk of a rug pull. We'll just have to see what happens. All right, next up, I want to give a quick shout out to Nerdy Dude Stuff, who actually is a buddy of mine who reached out to me and was like, hey, I just threw a little bit into this project. So shout out to Nerdy Dude. Come subscribe to his channel. Follow him. He talks about a lot of passive income projects, particularly on the helium mining side and stuff like that. He loves talking about that type of content. All right, next up, hybrid finance. So this also is a Titano fork. This is the only other Titano fork we're going to cover. This project is on AVAX as well. Now, I'm already in this project. This particular project is only a few days old. I don't even think they're a week old yet. I've got about $600 in here. Admittedly, this was about, I want to say $800, and it's pulled back. This particular project, the way that I'm playing this one is over the next week or two, I'm going to make a couple more deposits, and I'm hoping to ride this one out, and we'll just kind of see what happens. Again, they've got some strong, I can't say they got some strong use cases. They claim some use cases. People love to talk about these big, grand use cases for these projects. I'm in playing the tokenomics. That's it at the end of the day. These Titano forks, they have been forked over and over again. And the challenge is there's less money in the ecosystem because, there's only so many people who understand this section of DeFi anyway. And over time, what we'll start to see is that their lifespan will get a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter and a little bit shorter. And when that happens, eventually they're just not profitable. But in the beginning, because of the high APY, because of the rebases, when the price goes up, the earnings can be substantial on these things. Absolutely ridiculous. And they'll work until they stop working. Next up, this project, Elephant Money. So this project, if you've been following my channel, they recently got exploited. And look at that. Holy smokes, that's epic. So that happens. The thing about this project is they're preparing for some sort of a relaunch. I don't know what's going on here. I need to look it up. But they're preparing for some sort of a relaunch. And if you come here to, let's see, 12 hours, you can see they got exploited right here. I mean, this thing went all the way down. And I've done pretty well in this. This elephant.money, there's a lot to it. A lot of people are coming over here into the Stampede, and they're trying to earn money on the trunk token, that sort of thing. And that reserve and that whole Stampede, that's the thing that they've got to try to relaunch. And if they relaunch it, this whole thing is going to do really, really well. I've been playing the elephant game, just investing strictly in the elephant token over here. You can watch one of my other videos, and I'll also show you another YouTuber you can follow who's very positive, very bullish on this project. He's probably one of the biggest whales in the project. But for me personally, I'm just making a play on the Elephant Money. This is one of two projects that have recently been exploited and looking to relaunch. The thing about these projects is a lot of people don't want to get into them. The only thing more risky than a brand new launch is a project that has already been exploited. The excitement is worn off, and the idea is, can the team pull it together? Can the community pull it together? And will the project, continue to be able to go from here? If it does, I'm very bullish about the Elephant token, and I'm using the chance that the price dropped. I use it as a chance to buy some more tokens at basically a much lower price than I had bought before. And this number here shows me that I'm all of a sudden in profit. I have no idea where this green candle came from. Before I started this video, we were over here, and it was just kind of tweaking down a little bit. I'm very optimistic they may be able to pull this off, but maybe not. Again, this is incredibly high risk play for sure. YouTuber you can follow on this project specifically who is extremely bullish on this project. I mean, this guy is so bullish on this project. He has multiple six figures tied up between Elephant, the trunk token, Stampede, and all that stuff. Come over here and follow Crypto Slow. He's got a video right here, Welcome to the Jungle. This guy here is super bullish. He's got a Telegram. I think the Telegram is in the description of his videos. This guy is cool, calm, collected. Someone who has, I forget how much he had, hundreds of thousands of dollars in this project. Most people would be crapping their pants. And he is just as cool and calm and collected in his Telegram, which is really what you need to be if you're in this space. And you got to have some ice running through your veins. And most people don't have that. That's the bottom line. But Crypto Slow definitely does, so come check out his channel. The next project that I'm looking at also just got exploited. I genuinely love this project's use case. Elephant Token, I don't know if they can rebuild. This is something that may go on for a while. I've talked about it previously, but I don't necessarily think Elephant Token's a long-term, multi-year play personally, meaning I don't think it's going to go on more than a year or two tops personally. That's just me, my personal opinion. As a viewer of my channel, I'm just letting you know what I think and what I'm doing. However, this next project has real potential, or at least had real potential. They just got hacked last night. I have not went into this project. I've been watching them. They've been around for several weeks. Definitely, I would have told you it wouldn't have been early, but they're going to attempt to relaunch. And I don't know what that's going to look like just yet. They just announced it today. They're going to be doing an AMA tonight. They had $80 million that was exploited yesterday. And we are talking about Bean.money or Beanstalk. This is an algorithmic stablecoin. Now, those of you that are familiar with algorithmic stablecoin, you know that they oftentimes have one major Achilles heel. So the Achilles heel with these algorithmic type stablecoins, if you look at Tomb Finance, it ends up being the T-share. When the Tomb or whenever the PEG token loses its value, part of the backstop is people holding the T-share. When the T-share tanks as well, it ends up being a real problem. What Beanstalk did to address this, they had the Bean token, which was the stable coin, then they had Stalk. Stalk was not tradable, and it had a whole separate utility, which basically helped encourage you to stay into the project. It's a very interesting mechanic that was in place. And if this project relaunches, then maybe I'll do a whole video just on this project and see if they can kind of pull it back together. They did announce today that they're going to, or tonight, that they're going to have a town hall, sort of an AMA, if you will, right here. And I'll give the team credit. They came out publicly. They actually undoxed themselves. This project was designed from the get-go with decentralization in mind. It was very, very unique the way that they had put it together, meaning in this day and age, people are wanting to be doxxed and they want KYC, and there's always some sort of centralized mechanic. And even if you look at like Terra Luna, the goal is to be a decentralized stablecoin called UST, but right now it's somewhat centralized. The goal is over time to become more decentralized. What Bean Money was doing is they were, through the Beanstalk and the Bean token, what they were doing was creating a decentralized algorithmic stablecoin from the start with some unique mechanics the goal was to be able to help it succeed where many others had failed before. Unfortunately, the very decentralized governance system they had was exploited against them in such a complex way that a flash loan took $80 million out of the protocol, and now I guess they're going to attempt to relaunch it somehow. It is a very neat project, and depending on how they relaunch it, I think there could be a lot of potential here. This is actually what's called a credit-based algorithmic stablecoin. Basically, you loaned the project funds to back its token, guaranteed to pay you back at a later date. People were earning 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x on the amount of money that they loaned to the protocol. The catch was it took several months and sometimes a year or more to get your money back that you loaned the protocol, but who cares if you could have got a 50x, for example. They're going to do their town hall tonight. There may be an opportunity here. We don't know yet. It depends on how they relaunch, but there could be an opportunity here to get in, because typically when a project relaunches, it's not like a first-time launch. There's a lot of people skeptical, and that means there could be an opportunity to make some money with the project. And you can almost believe it's going to be more secure the second time around than it was the first time around. Same thing with Elephant Money. Doesn't mean, by the way, that it couldn't get exploited again. Again, we're in crypto. We're in DeFi. We're in the highest risk sector that exists. So the last and final project I'm going to talk about is, in fact, an algorithmic stablecoin, but the key to this is timing. So I'm over on Scrub Finance. The Tiger token here is essentially like the share token that I just showed you on Tomb, and the Lion token is like their stablecoin essentially, but it's clearly not currently pegged properly. Here you go, Tiger, Lion, and Lion is supposed to be pegged, I think, to SVN, and then of course the bond mechanism over here. I'm currently using the Lion token, the Tiger token, and you saw that I've got some funds in here. Over 4,000. It was about 40. Well, I came in with about 3,800, and it went all the way up to like 46, I think, and that's down to 4,000 right now. Paying out 6.7% per day. That's not going to maintain the price. This Tiger token has been very, very, very volatile. One Tiger has been, I think, as low as $3,000 or $4,000 and as high as like $40,000. I mean, it's all over the board. But it looks like if you look at the chart, in fact, we can see what it's been worth. Oh, they've been as high as $60,000, and it's been all the way down as low as $6,000 here. This project, the way to play these algorithmic stablecoins, if you're going to attempt to play them, in my personal opinion, is really being able to play the share token. It's very different than the way a lot of people recommend. It's probably more risk. But these share tokens tend to be very, very volatile. And if you can get your timing right, you can do very well with these projects. Let me show you an example here. This is where the chart is right now. This is the all-time chart. So hopefully we're here, and the hope is that we're going to start slowly trending upward. When you talk about a price appreciating plus being able to earn 6% per day, it doesn't take long to double, triple, quadruple your funds. And I'll show you another example of a project that's a little bit more mature. There's a project called Grape Finance, and their share token is called Wine Shares. And as you can see, in the beginning, it's very volatile. And at some point, it levels out. This thing over here was as high as $1,000, $1,200 per wine token. Well, it dropped all the way down here to $50, $39 was like the low. But then even from $39, it ended up going back up to, $300. So that's almost a 10x just from there, from that short time period. Now the hope is, if the project continues to do well, that the prices continue to go up from here. Now we're not talking about wine shares, and we're hoping that Tiger mimics something. You will oftentimes see that these projects will follow. I mean, that's a classic example of what you will see in these projects. You don't ever want to be early, and you don't ever want to be too late. The sweet spot is trying to get somewhere in there, in that middle. That's the goal. Of course, you don't have the privilege of knowing exactly when that's going to happen. So right now what I'm doing with Scrub, I mean, this project's not even 8 or 9 days old. Right now what I'm doing is I'm in here and I'm just withdrawing till I get my funds back, which right now I'm able to withdraw at about 6.7% per day right now. We're only 29 epochs in. That's 29 8-hour periods in, about 7 days or so. So we're not even that old in this project. Right now I'm just trying to withdraw funds, and every day I make a withdrawal, I'm getting that much closer. Now, I mean, I could also withdraw and then come over here to the farms if I wanted to. I could come into the Lion SVN pool, which pays out a great APY all on its own. It's 6% daily right now. That's just keeping funds at risk. If I want to, and then I would earn Tiger tokens, and I could come back over here and put them in if I wanted. But at some point, you got to start withdrawing. So I'm going to lean towards withdrawing right now, getting my initial funds out, and then I'll probably let it ride a little bit and see what happens from that point forward. So today we've covered 5 different projects that could be poised to either pre-launch or relaunch, or their first couple of weeks or less. These are all projects that are very high risk. Every single one of them could go to zero or go near zero from this point forward after today. But at the same time, each one of these has tremendous potential to be the next 10x, 100x, or more. So you want to be careful in this space, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing in this video, again, is considered financial advice. Everybody says, I wish I would have known and I would have gotten into that project. The challenge is, it's far more difficult to make the decision to pull the trigger before we know the project's going to be successful. Stay tuned. I got a video coming up talking about a little bit of Olympus DAO scandal. You're not going to want to miss this. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.